Hey, so this is Jenna. This is my game engine texturing project. So I have several textures that I added into these materials down here. We have my asphalt texture, which is basically it has a base map. It has a little bit like my asphalt, a couple of my, most of my other textures actually have at least a tiny little bit of metal in them. Some of them do. And then I guess smoothness is also added into that when packed. But I have the asphalt. It kind of looks a little bit shiny. Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe the smoothness in the metal shininess is a little bit getting confused here. But anyway, so that's on the roof and the road right here. One of my concretes is on the building. The other concrete, obviously, down here. I have the brick texture, and then there's also a plaster texture, which I guess is this right here. And then I have the tile map. Yeah. So I have the materials for my concrete. I have these textures all set up. I made a folder for each one, basically. And you can see they have, it's just, base map. I'm sorry, the metal smoothness and metal map plugged in for each of these. For my trim sheet, the UV texture, I have the emissive up here. There's a material that was, or textures that were set up for the light pole, street light, and then I used like the polygon fill to sort of break it up so that the piping would also have a different sort of texture. I guess you can maybe see that right there. And then my walls, the brick wall, I used this sort of, it's kind of like a black and white sort of brick design that I used to, with a black mask, to make sort of this brick design right here, and added sort of just like little concrete texturing with some position and height to raise it a little bit, to give it that look. And the other one is the plaster, which is, I made it with a couple of different things. I wanted to make it look kind of real. I guess when you would make like a real plaster wall, you'd probably have some sort of like OSB or plywood panels behind it with some little cage-like plaster cage to put the plaster in. So when I made it, I put these sort of little areas where it would look like a OSB or some sort of paneling behind it, and then these tiny little wire grid sort of things inside of it to make it look like, you'd actually build a plaster wall. Anyway, so I think this right here is how my light pole turned out. It's kind of like an aged black iron, rusty metal, sort of, with the emissive right here. Concrete, kind of like a concrete that would sort of do well with a brick wall. You'd see in real life. Kind of like a plastering effect right here with the concrete. After I put this in, I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be windows or not, but hopefully not, because it says wall, so I just went with the plaster. And the asphalt, might be able to see it a little bit better up here. The lighting's a little bit harder to see. I did mess with the asphalt a little bit, and when I set this up, because it looked a little bit almost wet, and I didn't want to have it look too wet, so I adjusted that just very, very slightly. I know that the metallic and smoothness is sort of coming in together, so it was hard to tell if this was an effect of the smoothness or maybe the metal, but I wasn't entirely sure. But anyway, so that is my setup, and I hope you like it.